very high up on the leaderboard. Just like you said, he does not miss his shots. He's basically a laser beam. We are playing Fortnite. He is playing Fortnite in the future. I don't know what.
Hey, we are playing Fortnite in the future actually now.
Whoa! Season 9, it's here. Jump in and play. We'll probably take a look at the standings here in just a moment. But NA East is not disappointed, dude. The game's insane, especially seeing people adapt. It's incredible. DMO right there on the top of the leaderboard. Currently 20 eliminations, 2 victory royales to his name with 45 points. He's tied, though, with Steens, the difference being the victory royale as the tiebreaker.
Yeah, he is that victory royale. I mean, we're talking about the old guard, Dr. Lupa up here as well, and then Demo showing up.
Old.
That's the very old guard, and Demo, he's young. He's young. I can't rib on him, but he is definitely one of the older players in who can compete at this level, right? We talk about the amount of 14-year-olds who've qualified for New York. Demo, I think 24. So showing up, Psalm and Demo, the old guard in this sense. But semifinals today, he's doing very well. All these other players as well. We saw Luxury Snake have that huge pop-off game that we just watched. Booga's in there. He's already qualified for New York. Nut, Lominator. I mean, this is a good day for people. They're happy with their performances.
Well, guys, I think it's time. We got to get back into the action. So we're just going to send it back on over to the JD himself and Sundown. Gentlemen, please continue.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Yes, we're ready to get right back into these NA East matches. Also, one name I want to give a shout out to who is up on that board, TTV X Your X, somebody who might not be aware of. I know was a supposed stream sniper one instance, got cleared out of all that, but ended up getting a decent amount of traction from that. I went and watched his channel after the fact and watched this guy play. The kid is ridiculous.
Yeah, he killed, I think, all of us.
Yeah, he does some just nuts plays. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that you were involved in one of those clips.
Oh, dude,
he is.
There was one time it happened. I remember when we all died to him, and literally it was like me, Tim, and Lupo, and it was such an insane play that it was one of those that everyone's had at those moments where you're like, I need to go check the replays. This guy actually cheating, and we went and checked, and we were like, no,
he's just really,
and he was
really
live,
good.
and then next thing you know, he went from 3 viewers to having 400 plus, 500 plus for that whole next week or two.
No, he still regularly sits on a couple hundred though, but definitely go check him out. Somebody who has the capability of popping off, just like all these players in the matches. Again, it's week 5, which means there's 5 more weeks. If you want to get involved at home, queue on up, get in those arena matches. Get in here. We want to catch your games. We want to see what you have against the best of the best as Kovac just takes down Luxury Lemons, making them look like some kind of back of the barrel lemons there instead.
Dude, how insane would it be if there was wow, as the beam comes in from Kovac, if there was a kid who is 12 years old, waiting to turn 13, obviously 13 being the age you need to be to compete, and his birthday's right before the final week of competition, and he has 1 week and he qualifies. I just thought of that, what an insane story that would be. As again, we talked about the age of people that are qualifying for this $30 million final tournament in New York City at the end of July for the Fortnite World Cup, and it is absolutely insane.
I mean, just the one thing for me is I've been known as Sundown longer than some of these guys have been alive. That's just one of the ones I think about is I've had my gamer alias longer than some of these guys have actually been existing on this planet. But what they do in this game puts some of the guys to shame. I mean, these players are ridiculous. And again, we're talking about the best of the best out of not hundreds, not thousands, not tens of thousands, but millions of players competing and trying their hand at it. And these are the pinnacle, the cream of the crop, trying to get to New York City.
I mean, the biggest game in the world in Fortnite, it really, the announcement was so huge when it came to the Fortnite World Cup that it literally changed how the game is played from everyone, as Kovac does a nice job landing right next to this next launch pad, can basically wait right next to it as he turns and snipes Astonish right there. But he can kind of use this launch pad again as more movement. Instead, now we'll just turn back to the edge of the zone and look to fry anyone he can. That launch pad is actually still clear, and JDW and Germ actually right next to each other on the opposite side of your screen. 2 very talented players just happen to be fighting for their lives in this game.
Yeah, 2 players from Raised by Kings, the org that does have that team house down in Florida. Everyone was boot camping down there, but unfortunately, Slight picks up JDW, and now you see Kovac working his way along the low ground. And this was kind of one of the more interesting aspects for me, how these low ground interactions were going to play out, because before it was just all pumps all the time. So it's interesting to see the amount of whether it's tack or whether it's drum gun or whether players just are opting not to fight in these circumstances. But sometimes you don't get a choice.
Yeah, no. If you ever played a late game Fortnite, you definitely know that a lot of times the fights aren't your choice, as players will do anything they can to get those elimination points. Now Kovac's still chasing this one player. He knew he melted the shields off. There's the confirmed elimination. One more player nearby, swaps back to the tack shotgun.
Now we're in a
really
top
good challenge, and there it is.
Top 15 with that elim, as Juice is a bot. Well, might have proven that one yourself, as Kovac now trying to get his Kovacs on, but doesn't quite pick that one up. Hippie Habitat right next to him, as is Poppy Sid, but Outlet picks up Mooney right as Mooney's trap fires off. So now Tynox gets Germ, and we're into the top 10 as Nut trades out Tynox.
Uh-oh. 0 builds left for Hippie Habitat. How do you play this one? You've got to follow whatever structure is built by the others. Fortunately, that tack shotgun taking a bit. There you go. Elimination comes in. Doesn't actually grab a single mat. Didn't grab a single material off that body.
But he did get a drum gun, so will the drum gun be enough? Has an elim, has a dream. Now just rocking the common tack. Rare SMG, uncommon drum gun. Not a build in sight, not a utility in sight, and you see him just constantly hovering walls.
Yeah, and playing at the back of the zone. Now with the zone moving the opposite way, it's not like you can turn your back and try to spray on down. You can't build behind you.
Oh, they're right next to each other.
Right next to him. Oh my goodness, a clean pump to the head. Only 6 total builds though. Didn't actually earn too much from that.
It does get the siphon back off, which is huge, but it needs to punch through these builds and get around. It doesn't take the tick. That was another change from 2 patches ago. It takes 1 second for it to drop through, and then he picks up a Minish. The patience pays off.
500 wood.
Yep, gets all that wood going out now and should be able to navigate back through, but this is where it gets tricky. What part of these builds do you own? Can you push through it before those ticks start coming down? Kovac on the high ground. Nut drops down into Hippie Habitat, and he just rips through him with that drum gun as Kovac picks up Nouncy, and we're into a 1v1. Who is the better player? Who can utilize everything they have? We saw Nut and Zundi last week pop off on Saturday. Can Nut pop off again, or will Kovac be able to take him down? He's working down from the high ground. You hear the traps, arm out. Kovac goes for it, misses the first 2 shots, but now just walls off Nut. That's it. It could be positional, and that's gonna be the difference. The positioning from Kovac to wall him out of the zone and then know where he was going. 7 elims, victory royale.
What I like right there from Kovac was, instead of taking that awkward fight, like we both were looking at it like, oh, who's gonna hit the shots? Like he started missing. The other player had barely hit 1 shot. Instead of being accepting that, he does, you know what? I can wall him off, retake high ground, and kind of reset the fight. Does it right there. Speedy Gonzalez on your screen, actually one of the beloved members of the Fortnite competitive Reddit for all the tips and tricks he shows off. If you haven't checked out Speedy Gonzalez, definitely should. Set up in the zone, right smack dab in the middle. Currently sitting at 12 total points.
Yep, big vouch for Speedy. Puts up some incredible tips, tricks, content, whether it's how to rotate, how to take fights, or how to break down these players. He's someone who's always willing to offer criticism, critique. And he's also very receptive to criticism and critique as well, willing to listen to your feedback. If you didn't find something that was super understandable or needed something explained better, very willing to work that in. But now trying to find a pick, trying to utilize all of the tricks and the doozies that you can put on opponents, getting a great peek onto P.E.K.K.A there and cleaning it up with that epic combat shotgun.
Epic combat shotgun. Speedy. Still on low ground right now as you see just how high up everyone else is. Up above. Aminished trying to push on into 2 pumps. Currently with 0 pumps because they're not in the game anymore, as he's going to continue to try to spray to this box. Doesn't actually get it. Oh. As of right now, wants this elim so darn bad, and good recovery from 2 pumps.
Yeah, Aminish needs to be careful because the player right next to him is looking to capitalize and knows he's broken that shield, but Aminish really wants this elim. When you've invested so much into it, you almost become stuck feeling like you have to get this or you have to force this player out. He's already fired 3 rockets into this player and lost 60% of his shields. Needs to find something, and what he finds is Net ZZRT just hanging way too out in the open there, way too comfortable.
And he even tried to block it, but diminished with the foresight to know, hey, I've got to spray this wall down. I've got to make sure that I keep the pressure on and hope that he doesn't catch the wall in time to block the rocket. Nicely done. 35 players remaining. Remember, top 25 earn those placement points.
Yeah, and the circle is incredibly dense. As you see, the baller does end up getting broken there. So Minish looking to catch another player rotating, and he does. Chris Credible is for the loss, unfortunately, as he gets dropped there. And Minish is going to utilize the jump pad, but bonks his head up top, so doesn't go too vertical, instead going straight across the zone. However, because we're over by that volcano, now with the pressure plant over there, they're able to utilize the geysers and that rotational ability to kind of have a little bit more of a get out of jail free card, you know. Don't need to use the mats, don't need to use the launch pads necessarily, but a Minish showing the rifling skills, and unfortunately need to reload there, but still going to pick up Final Walk, who just kind of on his final walk through the open as ES Zazo also goes down.
Nicely done right there on the final walk. Pun or whatever you'd call that. As now a Minish flies on in towards the zone, uses that geyser, just as you mentioned, free rotation. Can't really ask for much more in one of these late game scenarios. Still 29 left, actually, as this is a pretty stacked lobby.
Yeah, very dense. Again, as the way the tournament matchmaking system works, as you queue up against players closer to you in point totals, so everything does get a little more difficult as it goes on, especially once we get to tomorrow, where it's only the top 3,000 playing. Today, it's all about those in the Champion League. Again, 300 points in the arena. You can queue up. You could be in these games. Takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of rotation, a little bit of playing for late as a Minish takes down Showtag, and we're into the top 25.
Minish gonna pop the big shield is the question that I have. Nope, deciding just to riff right away.
And didn't bring it with him either, so maybe a little bit of fumble.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Because I knew you're going to have to leave something behind, either minis or a big shield if they didn't use the big right away. I think the best play there would have been instantly pop the big shield, use the rift, grab the minis. That's what I thought would potentially happen. But again, it's tough I've now casted for years across different games, and the one thing you know is we have a much different view and experience than they do. In the heat of these moments, so much is going on. It's just, it's crazy how much I have to process, and it seems like right there, a little slip of the mind is, okay, Wally.
This is a prime example. He just got 5 elims, and I saw maybe 2 of the people on those screens, but Wally, in the reaction, knows the player are around him, able to swing his camera side to side, and again, that's not a play we necessarily see if the pumps are in the match, right? If you don't have that high rate of fire attack and it's going through, so Season 9 already highly impacting some of the plays in this late game as players are able to utilize their speedy, finding a little hole there and punishing Wally for his run. So the aim was good, but the building not quite good enough. Speedy, if you give him an advantage, he will take it. No floor there means free real estate.
There's the build on out. Mooney in the same box as him with that baller. Finished all the way up top, having a field day right now. 8 eliminations so far. Make it 9 as I say that. Out of rockets though. Thought right for a second he was contemplating going back into the zone to grab some, but decides not to.
Now you see Snake, Lele in the bottom right, putting pressure with that drum gun, now swapping over the attack, but unfortunately loses sight of the zone and gets forced down as Quickly also falls to the storm. So now we're into the top 5, and you see Snake desperately jumping against the hill there, saying, please let me up, but lucky for him, the storm ends up heading down there and also gets a little bit of respite in terms of builds and shields.
Oh, you gotta move in, you gotta move in.
Yep, needs to continue moving with that zone. So now you have a Minish in your top right, Snake in the bottom right, Mooney, Speedy, and the tarps in between as a Minish works his way down. Mooney picks up Chufo, but then a Minish trades him out. So Speedy on the mid tarp, Snake on the low ground, and a Minish on the high ground to finish this one out.
Snake drops him down, a brilliant snap onto Speedy. 1 versus 1, a Minish dropping on down, goes for the elimination, and there it is. Quick tack shotgun play. Seemed like tack was king there at the end. A Minish. 11 eliminations. The victory royale, 21-point game.
Kind of interesting there how it looked like he fell very fast and didn't take any fall damage. Not sure if he procced a glider redeploy and then slipped off of one of those or just clipped a building on the way down. But great challenge from him there. Definitely taking that player off guard. But no rest for the weary, no rest for the wicked, and certainly no rest for the Fortnite players, particularly the competitive ones who are trying to qualify for New York City. As you see the timer there, 1 hour and 15 minutes left to get the queues. Don't forget, it's 3 hours or 10 matches, so do get a little bit of a buffer zone in there in case some of the matches don't go your way, or in case you want to play a little more aggro in some, but gotta get all of those matches and need to be efficient on your points.
Zeke rocking that double spray weapon. Thankfully, they are of 2 different ammo types, so while he is kind of low on ammo in both, he can go ahead and use it a lot and swap back and forth between the 2 and still get damage downrange. Zeke just using this baller for the moment. See someone in the box right next door. Looks like this is going to be his play. While that player's distracted, you break on in, and just like that, it's as free of an elimination as you could ever really ask for. And that's just a brilliant play from Zeke. Recognizing the scenario he's in, doesn't know a ton about exactly the position the player's in the box in regards to health or what they have to use. But hey, if you're getting shot from 2 different ways, you're going to have a weakened side from one side, and there it so happens to be Zeke.
Zylo just straight up ran up and stole his ball, though.
Uh-oh.
He was just like, hey, this is my ball now. I'm taking it. I'm going home. You can't have it. And Zeke is like, oh, no.
Oh, well, I guess I'm left on my feet right now as Zeke does Kiox, 2 eliminations, 150 health. He's using the rare assault rifle, and Sundown, I'd love to hear your opinion. I think this is the best gun in Fortnite's history in regards to the pure consistency, reliability, the least amount of changes. The blue AR has been there from day one, and it's always been your homie.
Yeah, it has been around, hasn't seen a ton of those changes. A lot of players just getting comfort around with that. I know that and kind of the legendary ARs being kind of the big staples in there, but like you never feel bad about picking up a blue AR, right?
Never.
Like you pick one up and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is solid. Like I'm happy with this. You're never gonna be like, oh, I just got this, whether it's early game, late game, mid game, doesn't matter. You're like, oh, most of the times it's gonna be an upgrade as Kiox there picks up Saint to put himself into the top 25. And I mean, like I said, can close range spray, 33 damage, like just below that 4-hit threshold. You can tap people from long range with it, you know, it's pretty good.
Pretty darn good indeed. Elevate tried to force his way into that rift, unfortunately didn't hit it. Will move in towards the zone. 61 AR ammo in total. Not a lot of shotgun ammo either, so kind of one of those games where
Needs to
it's
make
a
something
scrappy
happen.
for Elevate.
Has to make something happen, and particularly now, you take 3 tactical shotgun shots that don't convert on an elim. What are you going to do now? You only have 4 left. You have to get an elim. He gets the edit. 1, 2, 3. Gets him with his second to last shot. And then
2 to 130.
yeah, I think he'll be okay now. Also tops off with the drum, with the slurp. And that's what I mean. Hey, sometimes you have to force a play, particularly if you're low on ammo and if you're playing passive in this mid and early, which some of these players opt to do.
And he hit that rift, he does.
Yep, and he's going to need it. And now all of a sudden, what looked like a desperate situation is pretty good. Hanging out in the air, 16 players left, about to hit the second threshold. Has plenty of builds, plenty of ammo. Not bad from Elevate.
Nope, not at all. It's Kiox now on board again here. Oh,
That was clean.
Clean. Edit, window, tack, shotgun shot to the head. You see how often these players are aiming in, trying to focus that aim to get as consistent a shot as possible with that tack. Zeke just below. It's Kiox at 134 health. Not really taking the time to pop a mini as of yet. Still just getting aggressive, still moving towards the zone. 460 total mats.
He's so aggressive with these side jumps. The moment somebody else is in a box or they're going away, he's not trying to go in it or go over it. He's looking to change the angle and then either catch them rotating again or get a positional advantage. Like Kiox doing brilliant here, but 12 players remaining and he's just going to hang out and wait for a little bit.
Look where we're headed.
Uh-oh.
Right through it.
Uh-oh. This is one thing. You cannot build around those. If you're on the mid tarp, you need to get to the bottom. If you're above it, you don't want to drop into it because if that throws you out, you're taking storm damage.
Yeah.
And
We'll see how players play it.
And here it comes. Is he going to be able to navigate this correctly and brilliantly gets himself through the other side? Kiox saying sundown courage. This ain't my first rodeo, okay?
Yeah, and he lands like an all-natural build, so he's really safe and secure right now.
And can even farm up and get some more metal here if he opts to do it, but instead just makes himself safe and waits because the rest of the lobby ends up dropping down. Now he's inside 5 players. Brilliant from him. and he's in a circumstance where he now has 70 builds still.
Dude, I've seen him hit like 3 really clean stair flips with these edits. Another elimination there, that one on to Zeke. Has time to pop this mini as well and grab the drum gun in the middle of all that, and it looks like it's time to bring that weapon on out. Goes for the trap play, doesn't actually tag the player, 120. There's the elim, that's Elevate now dead. 3 players left, 7 elims for Kiox, has to build far in the zone and pop these minis.
Minis and the campfire as
Drop
well.
it down, go.
You have Puppet on that low ground trying to pressure in. Kiox looked like he was trying to get something down, but instead is going up. And I mean, dude, Kiox's building is so good. We talk about these players like all being good, but how fast he throws these tarps and tunnels out to give himself an opportunity to take shots. And unfortunately, Shotgun takes that one away. Kiox doing all the work, but Shotgun getting all the credit now. As Shot is in your top right, Kiox is in your bottom right, and we're closing it out. One under, just above 50 effective HP, the other just below 100, and Kiox has the high ground and goes to shots first. 75, 135. Kiox, you're nuts.
Kiox with a flawlessly played endgame right there. And Sundown, I thought it was going to spell disaster when Shotgun stole that elim, but it actually didn't. That was a 100 health swing. Shotgun had, what, 51 total health? And obviously Kiox wanted that to push himself back up to about 80. And instead of getting that, it swapped positions, but still able to clutch it on up. Brilliantly done by Kiox.
Just so good coming out from there. I mean, Kiox clean with all of his tack shots, clean with his building. And when I mean clean, I mean he's not throwing out any extra builds. He throws out exactly. So brilliant from him there. But again, as we said, no rest for the Fortnite players as the next one rotates through. We saw Ghost DMO, who was at the top of that leaderboard. You have Spirit, Sainted, Leo, Lamond, and Steens all in this lobby as well. So a bunch of players who we've seen on that top 10 before as Mal Rizzo comes gliding in.
This is Leo right here?
This is Leo, yes,
okay.
Leo.
So I want to make sure, because...
Yeah, it's an upside down L. It's not a Teo. I know. Somebody DM'd me and made sure. We asked. It was okay.
Good. Well, thank you for clarifying, Matt, as Leo right now, 113 builds. Not, again, it's actually standing out to me a lot, Sundown. Yar ammo.
Nope. Like I said, the drum gun does a lot of things very, very, very well and few things not so well. One of them is ammo conservation, so you need to get it from other players, which in and of itself fosters a slightly more aggressive game, because yeah, you're going, you want to press
right there, grab it. There
yeah, oh, look at that.
Wow.
Right away, you talked about it. You need to go and get that from other players who maybe aren't rocking that drum loadout. Why? I don't know. But if they aren't going through and aren't being as aggressive,
he's got a riff
I
here.
promise you, they're sitting on it. But yeah, as you're saying, pinned against that backside, needs to be thinking about getting out of dodge.
He needed to riff, in my opinion, a long time ago. We'll see what Leo can do. Thankfully, it looks like the pressure peeled off for the moment. Challenges the one up top at 150 to the dome. Somehow getting away with this right now. Still hasn't gone down.
He's
Rift,
going out.
There it is. Doesn't actually grab a weapon, but makes it out with his life. That looked like it was going to end in disaster right there.
Yep, and is able to float his way into the top 25 as Fahita Latifa does miss out on that. And you can see he's just kind of hanging out. Long rotation, but luckily it is down the vertical slope, so not too much threat coming from there. As you see, players opt to use whatever utility they can, opt to use those zip lines as well, coming out.
Look at that.
From Angel, just
That's
hanging
cool.
there. And we've seen players do this before, actually jump back and forth on the zip line, but you need to be careful, because then, I mean, you just target practice for anybody who's halfway.
I think that was one of the healthiest updates to zip lines that that Epic put in, was making it so you don't take fall damage when you use the zip line. It went from like you would not see a zip line used to like, oh yeah, wait, this is fine.
Oh, I mean, you didn't like getting ripped out of the air and then just thrown in with no recourse for anything and then falling and being out of the lobby?
It seemed like it was a blast, man, I'll tell you. Look at that. That was 200 health to 0 in that quick of a time.
I think that was 3 headshots, 2 body shots, but showing the power of that drum gun in all the circumstances as he goes and finds somebody else's jump pad and takes to the sky. Steens also mimicking him there and trying to get whatever rotation as we see 2 ballers left in play. And you know what? I gotta say, shout outs to NA East. They're letting a lot less of these rollers go around. Maybe because of the drum gun's ability to just rip through those. Again, 8 bullets takes one of those things down. Malrizzo goes down in about 4 of those as he flies right across the Daxter's screen, and Lava Flow also gets picked up almost incidentally.
That was like a perfect play right there from Daxter. 2 eliminations, edit, Shadow Bomb, into the next setup, and he's going to do the same darn thing again.
Yep, going to get a second angle now and just post up, knowing he's on the side so he can cover one angle. And Launchy gets ripped. Only 3 bullets pick him there, but able to cover fast enough. Daxter instantly switches target, forces Corey off, and now him and Leo are right next to each other. But we have DMO from Ghost on the high ground. And Steens was in a shadow bomb. And Demo says, I don't care. Using that tighter ADS spread. 2 shots out right away. 71-30. Goodbye, Steens.
Steens was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm mid-shadow for him. There's no way I die. Okay, I'm dead.
Block, block.
Yeah, and DMO try to match what Issa did earlier with that top performance over there in EU.
Now we're into the top 5, and you see Demo just trying to hit whatever clay pigeons he can there again. There goes those rounds. Will he be able to find it with the suppressed SMG swap? And he does. Kai getting picked up. So now it's DMO, J-Mock, and Daxter left. Daxter in the bottom right, Demo in your top right. J-Mock getting pressured. Demo in his box, and that's it. Going to be a 1v1 now between Demo and Daxter. Ghost versus E11. High ground versus low ground. What can he do?
DMO, nice job just tarping this entire sky. And now beginning to make some edit plays, looking down on his opponent. Daxter just staring straight up with the heavy sniper rifle. There's the challenge spray, comes in, and right at the end, it's DMO with the tac shotgun and the elimination. Had only 17 HP, but that's it. 8 elims, victory royale, 18 points for the Ghost player there. A great end to that first little bit of NA East segment. Always a blast to cast it together. Sundown, Zeke and Ball, take it away.
Thank you so much, Courage. What an awesome game. Great showing there from Ghost DMO, even hitting us with a conga there at the end. Possibly my top 3 favorite emotes. All right, Bala. Now that we've gotten through these games, I believe you've got some great plays to break down.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see what's up.
We do. We had so many good plays. The first one I want to talk about is Kovac. In that first game we saw of that set, this is an easy one, but I want to talk about the awareness that he has in that end game. This is showing a crazy prowess. Look, he's watching this player. He's waiting for him to do something, waiting for him to shoot, but then he realizes, hey, actually I have to leave right now. There's no elimination there. I just wanted to point out how you have to be aware and leave when you need to. If the storm is on your back, you need to give yourself time to get the eliminations, and that's exactly what happened there. And then he actually did follow it up with the win as well. So not just showing off a little bit of eliminations throughout the game, but following it up with the win to Kovac. Good play through that game. And now diminished here with the RPG. We saw the heavy snipe RPG combos. We see that a lot, but we don't often see it with the AR. Actually, that was a metal wall too, so good play from him. And then also finding the cracks. Every time you see a crack like that with the RPG, you just go ahead and shoot through. You never know when you're gonna be able to find somebody. But this was a situation of unwanted aggression by either player. Showtime was like, I just want to get through with my baller. And Aminish was actually getting his structures destroyed. So Showtang, unfortunately, is gonna get his baller destroyed, and Aminish is gonna deal with that problem. But now Sakura Wally, this was ridiculous, Zeke. Just watch. I mean, tactical shotgun right now, this is a hot topic. Which one are you gonna carry? But this is a crazy showing of why the tac is so good, especially in these end games when it gets so congested on the side. Look at this, and it's not even over. Another one is gonna come through. You have these clean shots, and that's what's so important. If you hit them, that's gonna matter in the long run. With that large clip size, the reload speed on the tac, it's perfect. But Aminish, we saw him earlier, he's gonna clean it up. A nice slow waterfall down on the snake. Good awareness there. And I talked about pre-building the top here. Don't forget, you could also pre-build the wall of a player. If they're inside of a box, you can just build the wall, and then when they come through, you can go and get it. But Kiox, actually, you saw him kind of hesitate when he saw the slipstream. He was like, what do I do here? But no, this is an example of a player who knows exactly his surroundings. Knowing that there's the stairs here, he goes straight through the slipstream, and then actually finds a nice little angle to escape from, as nobody was gonna able to shoot at him while he's in the sky. But continuing to follow it up, look at these edits. Zeke, that stair flip right there, Courage call it out. That stair flip, he did like 1 or 2 of those throughout the entire thing, but you have to be so quick with him.
Oh, okay.
And Zeke, this is Elevate right now. That's a very good player. And he just made look silly, unfortunately. And Kiox, this was, again, we talk about which shotgun are you going to use. If it comes down to a small circle like that, when it's tiny, 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 you gotta carry the tack, I think. It does have the higher damage potential. So who knows? We'll see. It's still
hot topic. There you go. Thank you for breaking that down, Baller. We also have the standings coming out of NA East as they are now. Right now, FaZe Sway sitting at the top with 57 points. Behind him, Cloud from TSM with 54. And third, Bugga from Sentinels with 53 points. Now, we saw Tilt was dominating not that long ago, and now he's pushed back. It's only a 5-point difference, but still plenty of room to work with. DMO there in 10th, so that stellar game propelled him up the leaderboards.
Yeah.
And now he's making top 10.
Yeah, and again, things are really volatile. You talked about how Tilt was in first before, and now he's in fourth, and Demo was also kind of up there before last time we checked in. We'll see where he's at later on. I mean, the game's update. It's very volatile in the semifinals. It could change at an instant. We saw it in EU. I think we saw the standings right before we ended, and the standings when we ended, the page was completely different. So remember, all that matters is top 3,000 right now.
Top 3,000 heading into the finals tomorrow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to go to a break, but when we return, we'll have more Fortnite action for you. And as the director would say, BRB.
BRB.